Greetings, Geechlings. Geechman here with another One Punch Man Power Up video. Today we're doing Strange Binding Shell, or as he's known in the Viz translation as Monster Roping Shell, C-Class Rank 3 Hero. For those not aware, he's a member of the support team that's helping during the Monster Raid arc, and he uses ropes to tie up monsters. Simple as that, a lot could be added to his character, hence this video. But with all my power-up videos, I do equipment, general power-up concepts, and super moves. And for equipment, we have the chains and padlocks. Simply, it's just chains and locks that he buys at any hardware store. So it's very accessible, and it allows him to restrain stronger monsters. Next up is Super Tape. This is a sticky variant of Child Emperor's Invisible Wall that he used against Phoenix Man. It's translucent like tape. You just need to add some kind of adhesive and, have it cut to the right size. You've got super tape. And plus, Child Emperor probably could mass produce this stuff and donate a few rolls to him and, help out your fellow heroes. He seems like the guy that would do it. So yeah. Next is Sticky Putty. This is a super strong variant to the Sticky Putty that's used to hang up, posters and the like. Back when you're in school and stuff, like all those posters on the wall, like there was little globs of stuff. That's sticky putty. And then, it can last for years, be reused. And, it's like if you make that have a stronger sticky bond, it could be used to you activate it by squishing it and whatever. You throw it on the ground, monsters walk on it, they get stuck. Maybe you could stick it to a wall, get them stuck to a wall, ceiling, whatever surface. And, maybe even to another monster. So, yeah. And to kind of keep him safe, like maybe his gloves are anti-stick, or maybe the activation time gives him enough, like when he's squishing it around to get it all sticky, it has a slight delay where then he can then throw it and then, he's out of harm's way. Next is zip ties. This is a cost-effective addition to his arsenal, where these little zip ties, they're little plastic things that loop around themselves, and then you tie things to each other things. Simple as that. It's been used from construction to law enforcement. Law enforcement, where they use them in cases of where a large amount of arrests need to be made, and handcuffs aren't as viable an option. So yeah, I thought this would be another item he can get at the hardware store that makes it just real easy to have. Next is Grapple Pods. This is a small cylindrical pod that opens up, revealing a grappling hook. This can be used to attach to, his ropes, his chains, and it just acts as maybe an anchor, and then he can tie up monsters, and it just has that more hold, stability to it. And plus he can use it as a utility to swing around the city, much like, Spider-Man, or even more accurately as Daredevil. And, traverse harsh terrains that way, and some ideas later. Next is Turtle Binding Shell. This one is a weird idea, I grant you that. It is a large turtle shell that he locks a target inside. Yeah, its origins are inspired by his original name, Strange Binding Shell. Before we knew Shell was apparently his name and everything. And then my brain connected it with the first Kung Fu Panda movie, where the villain Tai Lung is sealed in a turtle shell. And I was like, this could be a thing. It's weird, but I like it. Here we go. Wouldn't be the first time One Punch Man's been a weird series, am I right? So this would be right at home. Next is Tome of Restraint. Another weird idea. This is a magic book. Okay, picture it. He goes into some old, out-of-the-way bookstore, because no one reads books. Everything's dusty because no one reads books since the 1990s. Because books are old and da-da-da. He goes, to learn some, restraining methods and techniques and stuff, and, this old book calls to him. And it has, techniques and stuff that have been, long forgotten, archaic, if you will. And it really plays into the supernatural background that One Punch Man has, with the espers and all that kind of stuff. So it fits well enough. Now, be it, like I said, it could be a stretch, but, I think it could fit. Next is general power concepts. The first one being pressure points. Basically, he just learns the basics of pressure points. And then he can, say, he hits the pressure points in the arms and everything. And it, makes a monster not able to fight back as well. And then it's just easier to tie up. Next is grappling. He learns the basics of, grappling techniques, wrestling. It gives him a physical fighting style, but that also, goes well with his tying up themings because it is the act of restraining. So, yeah, he literally becomes the rope and or chain. Next is trapping tactics. He learns some hunting skills and stuff, such as making traps, snares, that kind of thing, using his ropes and chains. Next is acrobatics. He trains to utilize acrobatics to dodge enemy attacks. And, if he has, ropes and stuff situated everywhere, well, he can then evade, bob, and weave, and then the monsters trap themselves. Next is advanced knot crafting. He goes to the bookstore, finds a book on knots and tying methods. He experiments with it, creates his own new variants of knots. And then his restraining arts are now stronger. And next we have escapology. Now, be it he probably already has a small degree of this, we just haven't seen it, because he ties things up, he obviously would probably have to know how to untie stuff or untie himself if tied up. We don't really know who taught him these, skills, if anybody. So, but anyway, it's the act of escaping traps. So yeah, basically, like Harry Houdini, escape from traps. Simple as that. And it's because I could see some monsters trying to turn, the tables on him and tie him up with his own, weapons. So yeah, he needs to learn how to escape those. Plus monsters that have their own, skill sets of, tying up. He needs to learn how to be able to escape such predicaments. Next is super moves. The first being steel binding. Using the metal chains, he ties up an enemy. Simple as that. He locks them down with the padlocks. There you go. Next is web tape. This utilizes the super tape. It is a support technique that, he makes a spider web out of the tape. It's translucent. It can't be seen. Monsters will just run into it, get stuck, and then they're easy pickings for the heroes. Next is acrozone. This is where he makes a random overlay of ropes and chains, and then using his acrobatic skills, he walks on the ropes, he bobs and weaves, monsters get tied up in it, and then, they take themselves down effectively. Next is grand shell sealing. This utilizes the turtle binding shell, and then he just captures the monster with it. Next and finally is Arcane Restriction. This is using the Tome of Restraints powers, where, he can either summon the tools that he needs, or maybe he materializes, say, chains and stuff like Kushina Uzumaki from Naruto, where she had those chains that she could make out of chakra and everything, and it's so maybe he could do something like that. Or, manipulate binding-related paraphernalia. So then he just traps monsters with it. So, yeah. That's about all I have for Strange Binding Shell. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Any ideas you've had, let me know down below. And, yeah. Anyway, check out all my other content, see what you like, suggest things for the future. Links to all my social medias down below. I stream on Twitch where I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now, and I'll tweet it out when I go live. Part of the One Punch Man podcast on Grim Reaper's channel. And as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Keishlings, roll out!